The hall went quiet when Dad raised his glass and smiled at my sister. Bright lights bounced off gold walls, cameras flashed, guests laughed. Dad spoke loud so everyone would hear. He said my sister would inherit everything. The mansion, the cars, the money. A new Tesla waited outside. $18 million belonged to her future. Cheers filled the room. I sat in the back row, hands folded, heart shaking. Then the doors opened. A stranger walked inside, eyes locked on me. He crossed the room, stopped close, placed an envelope in my lap and whispered, "Now comes truth. Are you ready to stop hiding?" My breath froze, my hands trembled. My parents did not look at me. My sister did not look at me. Nobody noticed the envelope except me. A single thought screamed inside my head. How did this stranger know me, and why did fear feel mixed with hope? The room blurred as memory pulled me backward. I grew up as the quiet daughter. My parents called me slow. Teachers heard those words first from home. My sister shined bright from early days. Straight grades, awards, smiles. Applause followed her like music. Family dinners felt like stages. My sister stood center. I stayed near the wall. Dad spoke often about success. Mom spoke about pride. Both spoke about shame when eyes turned toward me. "Your sister works harder," Dad said. "Try to learn," Mom said. Words felt sharp. Silence felt safer. At school I learned fast, but fear blocked speech. When teachers asked questions, my mouth stayed shut. Classmates laughed. Labels stuck. Quiet became invisible. Invisible became lonely. My sister never defended me. She never hurt me either. Distance lived between us like a wall made from praise and neglect. Years passed, college letters arrived. My sister earned a full ride to Harvard. Neighbors clapped, family hosted parties. Dad cried with pride. Mom hugged my sister for long minutes. I watched from stairs. Nobody asked about my plans. After high school, I moved out with one bag and little money. I worked 2 jobs, night shifts at a diner, morning cleaning offices. Sleep came in short pieces, yet peace grew. Nobody called me dumb. Nobody laughed when silence stayed. At 24, life changed. A woman named Mrs. Carter entered the diner. Grey hair, calm eyes, she ordered tea each night. She watched me work. One night she asked my name. Her voice felt kind. "You read people well," she said, "better than many adults." I shrugged. Praise felt unsafe. She smiled and slid a card across the table. The card showed a small private firm name. Financial research, data review, entry role. "I run this firm," she said. "Come visit." Fear fought curiosity. Curiosity won. That firm changed everything. Numbers spoke clearly. Patterns felt honest. Data never lied or laughed. My mind moved fast. Mrs. Carter noticed. She trained me. She trusted me. Within 2 years, I managed sensitive files. One file carried my family name. The first time I saw Dad's name, my chest tightened. The file showed shell companies, hidden accounts, illegal transfers. Fraud grew like a web. My sister's name appeared too. Scholarship funds, bribes, falsified records. Harvard acceptance stood on lies. I shook. Mrs. Carter explained slow. "My parents stole money from public funds through fake charities. My sister knew. She signed documents. Silence bought rewards." Shock hurt worse than childhood words. I asked one question: "Why show me?" Mrs. Carter answered clear: "Truth belongs to the wronged." Months passed, evidence grew. Legal teams prepared, investigators waited. A plan formed, careful and clean. Exposure needed perfect timing. Graduation day arrived. The family planned a grand event. Press invited, donors invited. My parents wanted glory sealed. Mrs. Carter asked one thing: "Will you attend?" Fear returned. Silence felt familiar, yet silence fed lies. I agreed. Now memory snapped back to the hall. Applause still echoed. Dad finished his speech. My sister stood glowing. The stranger leaned closer. "Open later," he whispered. "Listen first." Security guards moved. The stranger blended away. My heart pounded, sweat cooled my back. Dad spotted me and frowned. His eyes asked why I stayed. Mom turned away. Then a screen lit behind the stage. Mrs. Carter's face appeared. Gasps spread. Dad dropped his glass. My sister stepped back. Mrs. Carter spoke calm and slow. She explained everything. The fake charities, the stolen funds, the bribes, the lies behind success. Names, dates, proof shown clear. The room exploded with noise. Police entered. My parents shouted, my sister cried, cameras flashed again. I sat frozen, the envelope burned on my lap. Mrs. Carter ended with one sentence. The truth waited long enough. Police moved closer to my family. Dad screamed my name for the first time in years. The envelope felt heavy, fear mixed with power. I knew one truth. Silence had ended. And the choice inside that envelope would change every life in that room. I lifted my eyes toward the stage as officers reached my parents. What waited inside that envelope, and what would my voice do next? Police voices filled the hall, guests pushed back chairs, phones rose into the air. My parents stood frozen near the stage. My sister clutched her gown, face pale, eyes wide. Dad shouted words nobody understood. Mom cried and shook her head again and again. Mrs. Carter vanished from the screen, leaving silence behind. An officer stepped forward and read charges out loud. Fraud, theft, false records, money taken from public funds meant for schools and families in need. Each word landed hard. Faces in the crowd changed from joy to shock to anger. I stayed seated, my legs felt weak. The envelope rested on my knees, my name printed on the front in neat ink. My full name, nobody had written my name with care before. Dad spotted the envelope, his eyes burned with panic. "What did you do?" he shouted. Heads turned toward me, whispers followed. The quiet daughter finally noticed. "I did nothing," I said, voice low but steady. Truth felt lighter than fear. An officer asked me to stand. I rose slow. Hands shook yet spine stayed straight. For the first time eyes followed me without laughter. Mom stepped forward. "She knows nothing," Mom cried. "She never understood numbers or plans." Her words cut deep, yet pain no longer ruled me. Mrs. Carter stepped through a side door then, calm, controlled, legal team behind her. She spoke to police with confidence. She handed files thick with proof. "This young woman found strength through honesty," Mrs. Carter said. "Silence hid crime, speaking stopped harm." Police guided my parents away. Dad fought, Mom sobbed, my sister stood frozen. Then my sister ran toward me. "You planned this," she hissed. "You ruined everything." I looked at her and spoke clear. "You chose lies, I chose truth." Her face twisted, rage mixed with fear. Police pulled her back too. Cuffs closed around her wrists. Guests stared, some left, some stayed to watch the fall. Mrs. Carter touched my shoulder. "Open the envelope now," she said. I sat again, fingers slid under the flap. Inside waited papers and a small key. The letter explained everything in simple words. Mrs. Carter wrote each line with care. She wrote about my early school records, hidden test scores, reports never shared with me. Teachers marked high ability. My parents blocked advanced classes. Fear ruled their choices. They wanted 1 star, not 2. The letter explained why my parents pushed me down. Control felt easier than fairness. My sister accepted praise without question. Silence fed the system. The key belonged to a safety box. Inside rested a trust fund created years ago by a donor who noticed my skill during a childhood math contest. That donor asked my parents to protect the fund until adulthood. They stole from the fund instead. Mrs. Carter recovered every dollar through legal action. The letter ended with one sentence. "Your voice saved others, your future belongs to you." Tears fell, not from sadness, from release. Police asked questions, I answered each one slow and clear. Fear no longer blocked speech, truth guided words. Hours passed, the hall emptied, night replaced daylight, news vans waited outside. Mrs. Carter drove me home. During the ride, silence felt warm, not heavy. "You stayed quiet for years," she said. "Why speak now?" "Because silence fed pain," I answered. "Truth feels safer." She nodded. At home I opened the safety box. Bank papers, legal letters, proof of ownership, enough money to live without fear, enough power to choose. Sleep did not come. Memories flooded back, dinner tables, laughter without me, words that shaped doubt. Morning arrived with a knock. Reporters waited outside. Questions flew, I answered only one. "Why expose family?" I spoke simple. Harm grows when silence protects lies. Days passed, court dates followed, evidence crushed defense, guilty pleas entered records, sentences followed. My parents lost freedom, my sister lost status and future plans. Yet pain lingered. One letter arrived from my sister while awaiting sentencing. She wrote about fear, pressure, desire for approval. She blamed parents first, then herself. I read the letter twice. Forgiveness felt heavy, yet hatred felt heavier. I placed the letter inside a drawer. Mrs. Carter called one night. "One final step remains," she said. "A public statement from you, truth told fully, no hiding." Fear returned, eyes would judge, words would echo. I stood near a mirror, the quiet girl stared back, yet strength lived there now. The world waited. And once words left my mouth, nothing would stay hidden again. Would my voice heal or break what remained of my family? The press room smelled like coffee and hot lights. Chairs filled fast, cameras lined the walls, microphones crowded the table. I stood behind the curtain, heart beating hard. Mrs. Carter waited beside me. Her calm steadied my breath. "Speak slow," she said. "Say only truth, no anger." I nodded. Silence once felt safe. Silence once hid fear. Silence once protected lies. Today, silence felt dangerous. A staff member pulled the curtain aside. Light hit my eyes. Noise filled the room. Voices called my name. I walked to the chair and sat. Hands rested on the table. I looked up and saw strangers waiting for a story. I saw judgment. I saw doubt. I saw curiosity. I began from the start. "I grew up called the dumb one," I said. Those words shaped my fear. Those words pushed silence into my mouth. Pens moved fast, cameras blinked. I learned later those words hid truth. School records showed strong scores. Advanced teachers asked for meetings. Those meetings never reached me. A reporter raised a hand. "Why hide this?" "Control," I answered. "Fear, pride." One child received praise, the other stayed small. Murmurs spread. I explained the money, the charities, the stolen funds. I explained how lies paid for awards, how signatures hid crimes. I named every action clear and slow so nobody missed meaning. "My sister knew," I said. "She signed forms, she stayed silent. Rewards followed silence." A gasp rose from the room. Tears burned my eyes. I paused, breath steadied. I stayed quiet for years. Quiet felt easier than fighting. Quiet protected harm. A reporter asked, "Why speak now?" "Because silence hurts more than truth." The room fell still. After the statement, questions poured out. Some sharp, some kind. I answered each with care. No insults, no blame beyond facts. When the session ended, legs shook. Mrs. Carter guided me out. Outside, crowds gathered, signs waved, some showed support, some showed anger. Security cleared a path. Back home, quiet returned, yet peace stayed fragile. Days turned into weeks, court sessions continued, sentencing loomed. One evening, a call came from the detention center. My sister wanted to speak. Fear rose, old habits pushed silence forward, yet growth asked for courage. I agreed. The visitation room felt cold. Grey walls, hard chairs. My sister entered wearing plain clothes. No smile, no pride, only tired eyes. She sat across from me, hands trembled. "I hated you," she said. "Not because of weakness, because of truth. You reminded me of what I ignored." I listened. "Mom and Dad taught fear," she said. "They taught winning mattered more than right." I followed. Her voice broke. "I thought success meant safety," she continued. "I never asked who paid the price." Tears fell. I spoke slow. "Pain does not excuse harm, choice still matters." She nodded. "I know," she whispered. "I wanted approval. I signed papers without reading. I stayed silent when doubt screamed." Silence filled the room again. Different silence, heavy yet honest. "I am sorry," she said. Forgiveness felt distant. Trust felt broken, yet hatred no longer ruled my chest. "I accept the apology," I said. "Healing takes time." A guard signaled end of visit. She stood. "I hope you live free," she said. I watched her leave. That night, sleep came easier. Weeks later, sentencing arrived. The courtroom packed, judge read charges, evidence stood solid, defense failed. My parents received long sentences. My sister received reduced time due to cooperation and remorse. No cheers followed, no joy rose, only quiet acceptance. Outside the court, Mrs. Carter spoke to me. Public work waits, she said. Victims deserve voice. I agreed. We launched a foundation for children silenced at home. Education, counseling, legal aid, all funded by recovered money. Speaking events followed. Schools, community halls, shelters. I shared my story again and again. Each time fear shrank. One evening, a letter arrived from an unknown sender. The handwriting felt rushed. The letter warned of danger. It claimed hidden money still existed. It claimed powerful people wanted silence restored. My chest tightened. Mrs. Carter read the letter. Her face stayed calm, yet eyes sharpened. Some networks survive exposure, she said. Pressure will come. Fear returned, old fear, deep fear. That night, footsteps echoed outside my door. A shadow crossed the window. My phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. Stop speaking or lose everything. My hands shook. Silence tempted me again. And danger now stood closer than ever. Would fear win again, or would truth face one final test? The message stayed on my phone all night. Each time sleep tried to rise, fear pushed sleep away. Morning light came slow. I checked the locks again and again. Nothing looked broken, yet danger felt close. Mrs. Carter arrived early. She read the message twice. Her jaw tightened. This threat links to remaining money, she said. Some partners stayed hidden. Exposure damaged power. Revenge often follows loss. I asked the question, shaking inside my chest. Will speaking bring more harm? She answered without pause. Silence already harmed many lives. Speaking protects others. Those words grounded me. Security increased. Guards waited outside events. Phones stayed monitored. Yet tension lived inside every breath. 2 days later, another letter arrived. This one held photos. My apartment, my door, me walking alone. The message read short. We warned once. Fear surged strong. Old habits begged for retreat. Mrs. Carter gathered the team. Lawyers, investigators, security leads. The plan shifted. We move forward fast, she said. Public exposure removes shadows. A live broadcast scheduled within 48 hours. Names would surface. Shell networks would fall. Evidence waited ready. Before the broadcast, a visit request came through official channels. My father asked to see me. Anger rose, pain followed, yet answers lived behind fear. I agreed. The prison room felt colder than memory. My father looked smaller, pride vanished, control gone. He spoke first. You always asked questions, he said. That scared me. I stayed silent. I wanted one winner, he continued. One legacy. You threatened balance. By existing, I asked. He looked away. By seeing truth, he answered. That answer hurt deeper than insults ever did. I blamed you for weakness, he said. Yet fear drove choices, greed followed fear. No apology came, only explanation. I stood, truth ended harm, I said. Silence fed harm. He did not respond. I left without looking back. The night before the broadcast, alarms sounded outside my building. Security rushed. A car sped away before plates showed. Fear peaked, yet resolve held firm. The broadcast began at dawn. Screens across the city lit up. I sat beside Mrs. Carter. Cameras rolled. She spoke first. Networks, hidden accounts, names, proof shown clear. Then my turn came. I told everything again. Childhood, silence, discovery, threats, fear. I held the phone with the message and showed the camera. This pressure proves why truth matters, I said. Silence protects abuse, voice protects people. Phones rang across the city, tips flooded lines, partners panicked. Midway through the broadcast, a producer whispered urgent news. Police found remaining funds moving offshore, names linked to donors inside the audience watching live. The trap closed. Sudden shouting erupted behind the cameras. Security moved fast. Someone tried to rush the stage. Guards blocked the path. Police tackled the intruder. The room shook. I froze, heart raced. Mrs. Carter gripped my hand. "Stay steady," she said. The broadcast continued. Minutes later, confirmation arrived. Arrests happening across multiple locations. The threat network collapsed in real time. Relief washed through me, tears followed. Yet danger lingered. As cameras shut down, my phone buzzed once more. A final message appeared. "This ends tonight." A location pin followed. Fear returned sharp and cold. Mrs. Carter read the message. "We finish this," she said. Cars waited outside. Police escorts lined the street. The final truth hid somewhere dark. And facing that truth would decide whether silence ever returned again. Would courage survive one last confrontation? Police cars moved through the city with lights low and sirens off. The location pin led to an old office building near the river. Broken windows lined the upper floors. Rain began to fall, slow and steady. My chest felt tight, yet my mind stayed clear. Mrs. Carter sat beside me in the car. Officers surrounded the building. This place once held one of the fake charities. Paper signs still clung to the door. Hope for youth. Lies lived inside those walls for years. We entered with police. Footsteps echoed through dark halls. Flashlights cut through dust. A man waited in the main room. Middle age, expensive coat, nervous eyes. He raised both hands when officers shouted. His name matched files, a silent partner. He moved stolen money overseas. He sent threats. He believed fear would end speech. Mrs. Carter spoke first. "This stops now." The man laughed once, short and sharp. "Your story broke deals. Power never forgets." I stepped forward. My voice stayed calm. "Fear ruled my childhood," I said. "Fear fed lies. Truth broke control." He stared at me, anger drained into defeat. Police placed cuffs around his wrists. No fight followed. No more messages followed. Rain soaked the street outside. Dawn light touched the sky. Weeks passed. Trials ended. Sentences followed. The remaining network fell piece by piece. Money returned to public funds. Schools reopened programs. Families received aid meant for them long ago. My sister entered a rehabilitation program while serving time. Letters arrived now and then. Honest words filled pages. Healing started slow. I moved to a quiet home near the ocean. I spoke at schools and shelters. Children listened, some cried, some smiled, each voice mattered. The foundation grew, staff worked with care, lives changed through support and truth. One evening I stood near the water and thought about the girl who sat silent at family tables. That girl survived fear, that girl learned strength. Silence once felt safe, silence once hid pain, voice brought risk yet voice brought freedom. Family bonds broke through lies, new bonds formed through honesty. I no longer waited for approval, I no longer shrank. Truth gave space to breathe. And every time a child spoke without fear, the past lost power.